Hey, new YouTube, it's Will from Will Development, and this is my 395th weekly update. Now, I am actually a week removed. I just totally skipped last week. I talked about it a little bit in the video that I was going to be going to Clash and bringing a bunch of stones with me, and I may have even mentioned in the video that I was like, oh man, I didn't plan anywhere to stay. And so I was planning on getting there Thursday, I think. Was it Thursday or Friday? I think I got there on Thursday. And I was like, cool, they'll unload the stones and I can just sleep in the back of the van for a night or two. It's not a big deal to me. I don't care, you know what I mean? The weather in South Carolina, especially on the coast there, is pretty temperate, especially around this time of year. So, I mean, just get underneath some moving blankets, and honestly, it's basically like a bed. I sometimes sleep on the floor at home anyway, just because it feels good. But of course, they didn't actually unload the stones on Thursday night, so I ended up trying to figure out how to make the cab of the van be much more comfortable, which at 5'9" was still surprisingly challenging for me. It's the first time in my life I was happy that I wasn't taller. Not that I'm like upset about it anyways, but it was especially useful to not be like 6'2" or something that particular night, so I was very happy about that, even though it was very uncomfortable sleeping. But Friday, it wasn't until almost Friday at like 6 when they finally unloaded all the stones, and I ended up helping unload a lot of them too, just because I didn't want to damage the van. It was a rental, so. And any kind of little ding or scratch, they will find you and hunt you down for it. So I wanted to make sure it was taken care of very well during the unloading process. And they did the record breakers on Friday night, and it went on until, I want to say almost 10. I don't remember exactly when. The times and all the things kind of blend together now. And I'm terrible about like taking any kind of pictures or anything like that. A lot of it's just because like, hey, I want to be in the moment. You know what I mean? I want to enjoy this moment, and especially during the record breakers where Hannah was going for a 380 stone that I had made, and it was very exciting. She unfortunately missed it, which no excuses, right? But she had like everything working against her. You know, she was supposed to be going in like 30 minutes, and that turned into an hour, which makes warm-ups very challenging. And then the temperature dropped from like 75 to almost 60 within an hour. And so she's got the tacky, and she's heating it up with a heat gun. Somebody's heating it up for her. By the time she walks from the heat gun to the stone, the tacky's already cold and turned into rock. So it's just like she had everything working against her. And so, you know, it unfortunately didn't go down. I guess I should say go up. But she's going to give it another shot. I don't know exactly when. And I don't exactly know who's going to be making the stone for that one. But it was still super exciting to be a part of, especially that, but then the show overall. So that's why Friday nothing happened, because it was just too much going on. Even to shoot a little video on the phone, I was like, it's just not worth it to me. We'll just go to next week, and we'll just go from there. And then, what did we have? Saturday, right? Also at Clash. So that was the men's finals, which an interesting thing happened. It was actually a totally brand new and unique stone event, and one of my stones was on the front line of this event, and it was a stone over bar last man standing, but with no breaks. And that sounds almost like, hey, wait a minute, how's that fair, right? You just keep your points. The whole idea of it is just to keep the event going, because it's live, right? So two guys start out, they just keep going back and forth until one stops. Once that one stops, let's say he got 5 reps. He just goes over there, a new guy jumps in, this guy drops out at 10 reps or whatever. He still keeps his 10 reps, this guy's got 5, that kind of thing. So everybody still keeps their totals and their points, and the freshness doesn't matter at all. But it's a very unique and interesting way to do a stone over bar event, especially for the finals, and it's a very fair way of doing it too. Especially when you have like the people transfer, the person who's still standing there, he gets an extra 10-ish seconds to rest, which honestly doesn't sound like a lot, but man, when you're when you're right on the edge of failing or not, sometimes that extra 10 seconds to just catch your breath can make all the difference in the world, which is why a couple of those guys got 12 plus reps. I think three men got 12 plus. And they were using a 350 stone too, which is very impressive. But I even made a post about it later on Instagram, I think yesterday or the day before, where I was like, I'm trying to humbly find a way to express how proud I was of my work to create a stone that survived 20 straight minutes of 90 plus reps, slamming down on 2 stall mats, and showed 0 signs of chipping, cracking, weakening at all. That's the standard I'm keeping to now. And I've talked about this before, maybe not on here, but definitely with people I know, where I've discussed that my standards for the stones have changed over the years. If I went back to year 1, we're in year 9 now, I would probably slap myself for some of the stones I was putting out there. And hopefully 9 years from now, I'm doing the same thing, because that's what it's all about. It's all about constantly trying to get better and better and better, and more efficient, especially, just because, man, 9 years of pouring stones, it's a lot of years, it's a lot of concrete, a lot of creeping threat of silicosis. Even when you wear a mask, it's still, it's still a constant what if. But yeah, I was super proud of that stone, and Anthony Furman, the guy who puts on Clash, I want to say the co-creator, I've known him for years, so it was, shoe in for it, and he couldn't have been happier about it, and happy that he got a stone that the athletes enjoy using, and that didn't chip or shatter while they were using it too. And I was super proud to be a part of that, and the whole show overall. That being said, next week is the comp, and it might be another week where, hey, the update might not happen. I may step out and just do a quick one on the phone. And right now we're leading into a cut, which is totally fine. I'm walking around. Today I was 188. I've been 188 consistently for like 2 or 3 days now, so I think that is my almost walk-around weight, which means we've only got 13 pounds to cut, which is, that's nothing. I'm being very good on the diet. Carbs get dropped out on like Monday. Food gets stopped on like Tuesday, probably, maybe even Wednesday. We'll see. Water is going to be stopped somewhere around Wednesday-ish. We'll see what happens. Yeah, 15 pounds ain't nothing, and then I might just sweat out the other 5 or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun comp. Shoulder's still goofy. I think I'm gonna just talk to the promoter and be like, look, it's gonna be no from me, dog, because I was doing axle tonight. Started with log, and just holding that pressure here with the log, man, it just irritates it too much that it's beyond distracting. It's like I can't push through it. But on axle, because I can kind of spread my arms out and then rest it here on my like clavicle and on the shoulders, then you push press it. Really, I'm not pressing until here, and from like here up, actually about here up, it doesn't hurt to push on the shoulder. But from like here, like even just getting into this position right here and like tightening up, I feel the pain there and it hurts. So it'll be something to work through when I'm not leading into a comp. Unfortunately, this one popped up during comp prep, but these things happen. Pressing is still one of those events that's tough for me, but the fact I was able to do like 180 for 8 singles tonight, every minute on the minute, and honestly, the last 3 were the easiest ones. I mean, the strength is there. I'm getting better. I'm getting more efficient at the movement. It's just getting the shoulder healthy and then having a really good training cycle to actually push the number up to a little bit more respectability, which is, honestly, I need to be able to consistently hit like 250 overhead in order to be even kind of competitive in the 175s. That's like the barrier to entry is, it's probably more like 220, is the barrier to entry for 175 guys. I think the world record for 175 overhead is somewhere in the 3s, like low 3s, like 310 or something like that. And then, when you extrapolate that down, it's like, oh, okay, everybody's hitting around like 250 is like the average. So, but like if you can't even hit 220, you're not going to make it, kid. But, you know, honestly, I've been in strongman for a lot of years now, and that's kind of all it's always been for me. And I'm not afraid to, you know, just keep pushing and keep trying. And, you know, eventually I'll get there. Just have to have a good training cycle where no injuries happen. And then I think I'll be there. So yeah, that's kind of the quick update for this whole week. Yeah, it's just been awesome, honestly. Great experience. Glad to be back home, for sure. And fulfilling a ton of orders for the wet tacky for USS Nationals, which is just amazing as well. No complaints there. Suffering from success, you know what I mean? It's something I can totally live with. I appreciate everybody's support with all that too, because I know how you know, sometimes sponsorships as well as exclusivity products can look, but I'm thankful that most people in the sport know me, who do know me, you know, will stand up and defend me in saying that, hey, you know, he's not like that, I'm not like that, I don't want to be like that, I've never been like that, where it's just about money for me. I want to improve this sport, I want to help this sport in any way that I can. That's part of the reason I got involved in Clash and got involved in basically sponsoring every show that'll let me here in Florida. Just because, you know, it's what I can do now to actually give back. And yeah, of course, it gets my name out there more and possibly gets me more business, but there's never any guarantees there. Which is why I start from a place of how can I improve or assist this comp. And a lot of times it's by either providing stones or giving them monetary compensation to have a booth with some of my products there, which luckily I have more than stones now. So yeah, yeah, great week, just awesome. I think I've finally almost recovered from it, just in time to go back into being dehydrated. So yeah, look forward to next week. I won't make any promises on an update, but I think I'll have a more likely chance of making it happen than I did last week. And yeah, right now I have to go write a bunch of thank you notes and pack. I think I have about 40 orders to pack and try to get into the mail tonight. So when I say try, I just mean that I'm not sure the box at the post office is going to have enough room, because sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed for me. And you know, never be afraid to just go for it. I wouldn't be here, I wouldn't have been at Clash, and I wouldn't have chosen to go for sponsoring nationals had I not taken a chance and left my 9-to-5 and made this my profession. If I hadn't done that, if I hadn't left, I don't think I would have chosen to sponsor USS Nationals. And I especially would not have been able to be as customer service oriented as I am right now, just because I'd be busy with a 9-to-5 that wasn't fulfilling me. I mean, do I love every aspect of this job? No. But that's always how it is, you know, you got to take the good with the bad. I love the interaction I get to have with the community, and the fact that I'm gaining a name in multiple facets that garners respect. That means a lot to me. The fact that when people think of the brand I've made and they think of respect, you know, they think quality, that sort of thing. That means more to me than any amount of money. I only want enough to live, basically. You know, I'm not a greedy guy like that. So yeah, don't be afraid to go for it. And if you are, then you probably should just go for it. Because nothing pushes you like to succeed than when you have no choice but to succeed. Yeah, so if you don't go for it, then what's your excuse?